Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here, and today we've got a nice 2 versus 2 game for you on the map Desert Showdown. This, of course, is another episode of HarlequinCasts Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Let's go ahead and take a look around. This is a beautiful map if you haven't seen it before. 2 versus 2, deserty kind of small adobe huts, war-torn kind of effects going on here, barbed wire, all sorts of battle regalia, and that sort of thing. So, taking a look around right now, we have another bunch of really good players here. Over here on the left-hand side, as the red team, we have commanding the Warlock, Mr. Drop Hack, who I incorrectly identified in the previous 3 versus 3 game. This is, of course, Spirt, but, you know, if you want proper credit in your games, use your real freaking name. Anyhow, up here on the north, his ally today playing as the Apothecary is going to be Captain Dark Riku. Their opponents controlling the blue pieces. Down here, commanding the Warboss, we have got, it's going to be Mr. Farseer, and you can see he's got the little Freebooter gear on right there with the pirate sword and hat and all that sort of thing. Well, looking pretty good. And his ally today, commanding the Farseer, is going to be Mr. Lindonin, a.k.a. a DA candidate. DA stands for Dragons for Algernon. No, just kidding. It stands for Dragon Alliance. He is apparently applying to that guild and has a nice little embarrassing tag on his name for the rest of all of this. So let's go ahead and get this started. We're going to go let these guys move on out here. So, by the way, if you're one of those many viewers who just kind of hangs out and watches stuff randomly on YouTube, drop by my channel. I have pretty much it all set up for maximum viewing pleasure. If you ever want to see what else is out there, everything is nicely arranged into playlists. Makes it easy to search for games if you're looking for a particular matchup. Or if you want any other information. I'm very frequently asked, where do I send you replays? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do for a living? What's your favorite 80s band? If I were to name my children after you, would you want it to be named Harlequin or Terry? A lot of common questions can all be answered by going to my channel, looking on the left-hand side of the page there. And that's where all the cool kids hang out anyways. As you can see, down here in the south right away, we have Mr. I'm just going to call him Spirit to make things simple and to make up for the fact that I misidentified him all last game. Spirit right here was just kind of hacking and slashing away at Mr. Freebooter and Orc here. The Warboss doing a pretty good job here for Farseer. And they're all just kind of skirmishing around here. So taking a look at the initial build orders, by the way. Looks like Lindonen with his Farseer went ahead. Got the Howling Banshees and the Guardians first. Exact same thing coming out of the Warlock there by Spirit. Again, he's got Guardians and the Howling Banshees there. So he's got to be careful, though. He's getting kind of set upon in the center. As you can see, the Orcish hordes are swarming in right now, backed up by the Guardians and the Howling Banshees. This could look really bad for him. You can see already the Howling Banshee's taking a little bit of damage here, and it looks like his force is going to have to retreat for the time being, relinquishing central control to the Orcs and the Eldar. An odd alliance for sure. More towards the north, you can see, again, pushing forward. It looks like Lindonen is going to have a nice little whack at the power farm here. But now it looks like, for the time being, Captain Dark Riku is going to be able to make his presence known in the battlefield. He does have his Apothecary here getting ready to heal. Perhaps we have another Destructor coming out of the Warlock there, pushing those troops back. Looks like everybody's well aware that that's going on, and they're just going to fall back a little bit, take some cover perhaps. Meanwhile, it looks like we've got generators going up here, and the Warboss has captured the southern victory point. So it is currently 2-1 victory points, the blue team. Slightly ahead, 47 versus 476 for the red team. Looking down south, we can see that the Warlock is making his entrance once again. You can see by that knockback shot that he's got there that the Warlock has already upgraded to the Merciless Witchblade. Gives his ranged attack a little bit of a knockback. Pretty cool there indeed. All these guys just kind of charging on in. By the way, it's worth noting that the Farseer already has the Spirit Stone upgrade. That was the very first thing that Lindonen picked up. You may recall that the Spirit Stones were got a slight nerf as of 3.14. They had their cost increased a little bit, most notably because it just heals a lot. And as you can see, they're going to be put to good use in a team battle here for sure. Ooh, we have a nice-looking grenade there being chucked in, but not doing too much, it looks like. And for the most part, all of this melee attacks against this gigantic adobe building are kind of in vain here, as the Space Marines have a nice little central location set up here. While all of this is going on, however, it looks like, yes, the Howling Banshees, Guardians, and the Warlock are doing some serious damage down south. Looks like he's grabbing the Champion's robes as well, and even a little bit of backcapping going on here. The Scouts grabbing that requisition point. And I often fail to mention this, but it's worth noting that these requisition points mature over time. They eventually work their way up to being worth 30, whereas at first they're worth a lot less. So you can see, oh, nice looking grenade there. Oh, no! That was unfortunate. That was not even a retreat. That was just a straight up grenade. They killed 1, 2, 3, 4 gentlemen, I think. Maybe a fifth there. We got some parts of guys all over the place. Came out of a couple of different squads, so not too bad, but man. That's a lot. It's getting your money worth. Anyhow, the Farseer right now is completely set upon by screaming Banshees, but the Banshees looks like they wanted to get out of there. They are taking quite a bit of damage to these Shooter Boys, and boom, nice little special attack there from the Warboss, kind of knocking around Mr. Merciless Witchblade wielding Warlock. Always avoid alliteration. Anyhow, as you can see, he's got the champion robes up, granting him a psychic shield should he want it. Oh, and we have a nice little pirate-style sync kill going on there. Put away his gun for a moment to chuck that person. Boom, and here we have it. We've got the Assault Squad on the field right now. Assault Squad engaging these shooters in ferocious melee. They're going to have to back away for a little bit. And oh, could it be Tactical Marines with Flamers are here on the battlefield, and they have unfettered access to Lindonen's power nodes here for the time being. So it looks like the Farseer is going to go ahead and fleet a foot on out of there, as well as with her Howling Banshees. But as you can see, doing quite a bit of damage here, taking out the node, not quite getting the generator though, unfortunately, before the Farseer is going to be able to chase them all the way. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see here that it looks like Spirit's Howling Banshees and his Warlock doing a little bit of damage there, capping that victory point, but threatening a double cap right now. But honestly, there we go. It's tied up 1-1. You can see the heal being constantly used on these guys. The Assault Marines doing some damage to the Howling Banshees, who are forced to retreat into the building. That's unfortunate. And now they're going to retreat right through the Assault Marines. Oh, perhaps taking a lot of damage, retreating through the Assault Marines and through the Howling Banshees. And the Howling Banshees go down for Lindonen, and that's no good at all. However, the Orcs have arrived on the field right now, going to put similar pressure upon the retreating Howling Banshees here. Will they get away? Oh, is everybody going to lose Howling Banshees? Oh, they just barely make it out of there. Howling Banshees are going to survive for today. The Warlock here crawling around, not knowing what to do. His Psychic Shield is up. We have, it looks like we've got double shuriken cannons on the field right now, firing away at everybody. And the Orcs are just kind of making a mess out of the battlefield right now. Unfortunately, not forcing melee on that Warlock here, but continuing to put focused fire onto this Tactical Marines guy, which only has one guy left in it. Oh my god, Tactical Marines, run! The Apothecary tearing on out of there as well. He's definitely retreating away, although I don't see the retreat icon. That's a little bug there. And now it looks like the blue team is going to have total access here to the red team's natural power gen. As well. So wrecking generators, wrecking nodes. You can see that I believe those Sluggo Boys do have the burner upgrade. Yes, they do. That'll make this nice and easy for them to cut back on all of this. However, it is 2-0 right now, so the red team is up 456 to 383, doing some real damage. And the generators, he'll probably be able to take them all out there. You can see the Warlock is going to start knocking people back. Yeah, going to use the Destructor there. Sluggo Boys are going to get suppressed a little bit by the Howling Banshees there. The Howling Banshees just taking way too much damage there, though. I believe that was a heal from the Apothecary, kind of saving them a little bit there. And the Assault Marines jumping in right on top of this Shuriken team, wanting to take that guy out of the equation. Assault Marines, of course, doing a fantastic job here. The Farseer using the Spirit Stones right there, I believe, to kind of heal up the army. Really powerful ability in team games. You can see everybody getting in on the action here. You got the Apothecary charging in. It looks like the resupplied Howling Banshees are also getting in on a piece of the action here. Good position here in the Shuriken Cannon, though. Taking cover in the building, kind of suppressing randomly units out there. And the Assault Marines are just going to sit here and take it, it looks like. Oh, taking a little bit of... No, never mind. I saw a nice little blood splatter come out of there, but it's okay, man. Assault Marines don't care. We've got the Warboss here, kind of representing over here on the left, but honestly, there's not much he can do. He knows that he and his pirate hat are just going to go home for today. We do have, it looks like the very first Razorback is out on the field as well. Razorback putting some fire into this building. Honestly, not a lot happening. It's fantastic cover in that building there. And you can see the Assault Marines managed to cap that point and then retreat away. The Warlock capping the other point. Warlock upgrading the Warp Throw gloves there. We'll have to see if that gets any good use. And pretty much just a big old massive Orcs coming up here from the south. So both of the blue team guys are going to go ahead and get tier 2 now. So they're a little bit behind. As you can see, the Rhino is on the field right now. Unfortunately, it hasn't really been able to do too much damage. For the most part, it looks like they've just been kind of avoiding it. You can see the Farseer here just going to kind of run away for the time being. Has capped that point. That's fine. And nice looking grenade there. Okay, a little bit off on that perhaps. But you can see now the Guardians chilling out there. Howling Banshees doing some real damage here, and probably, no, they don't want to have anything to do with this Warboss. Ooh, check out the Warp Gates going up all over the place, too. Warp Gates in front of each base. That's nice. This allows, mass infiltration, and it allows Lindonen to kind of force its troops here. And here we have a massive attack on this side coming out of infiltration. That's always going to kind of throw people off quite a bit. You can see lots of suppressing going on, lots of hacking going on here. All sorts of Storm Boys and Sluggas and the Warboss kind of leading the charge. And it looks like taking a moderate amount of casualties here Spirit's just going to have to go ahead and retreat away there. Meanwhile, this Shuriken team here in the center continues to be a little bit of a thorn in the side for the red team here, trying to control the center. But now that we have the Tactical Marines kind of pulling up with a nice flanking position with their flamers, they're going to be able to either burn them out or force them to retreat, and that's exactly what's happening. Running to the friendly orcs, again getting a nice little heal there. I believe that was the Spirit Stones being used again there, perhaps. And yeah, things are looking pretty good. You can see these guys are just kind of holding up. It's always a nice little stall tactic just to sit in a big defensible structure like that. But oh, hand grenade going off in the middle. Boom! Good way to dislodge people. But again, Space Marines are tough as hell. They don't really care too much about that. As you can see here, they're just kind of hanging out. Apothecary chilling out behind them. Apothecary's got all of his healing stuff on there. He's got the Armor of Purity right there, reducing the recharge time on his heal. He's got the improved medical equipment. And the Mastercrafted Bolter, which I haven't really been able to catch him using yet. Speaking of the Mastercrafted Bolter, there it is, knocking back the Farseer quite a bit, suppressing her, and she's taking quite a lot, but I think she's just barely going to retreat away from these Assault Marines. Yes, she is. Let's take a look down south right now. We can see we got aiming what's that being used to suppress these Howling Banshees. Howling Banshees fully upgraded with the Autarch and everything. And, oh, we had it looked like he was going to get angry there. But unfortunately, the Warlock just kind of knocked him back a couple of times using that Merciless Witchblade, and that's that. So the Orcs here are just kind of being completely held off right now by this single Warlock right now, buying time, precious seconds here for his Howling Banshees to hack away at the rest of the generators there. That's looking pretty good, despite all of the Orc firepower coming in on top of him. He's able to get out of there for the time being. And looks like, oh, Warp Throw being used to pull in all of the Orc troops right now as the Autarch is called in on top of them, doing a ton of damage. Oh, terrible damage indeed right there. The Autarch just absolutely wrecking those troops, forcing a whole bunch of retreats, and now Autarch and Autarch and Warlock now in perfect synergy just going to make some real damage here. Oh, I think again that was the Warp Throw throwing the Warboss back on top of all of that heavy melee, and he was unable to retreat and completely taken out. So really good creative use of Warp Throw there. I love seeing those abilities being used there. A lot of people like to say abused, and I really don't like throwing that term out very much. I think that's exactly what you're supposed to do with it. Pick things up and throw them places they don't want to be, like, for instance, grenades or Autarchs. Sounds reasonable to me. Anyhow, we have this Wounded Guardian squad here doing a little bit of backcapping. Again, it's always important to hit these nodes because these ones are generally considered to be on your opponent's side the entire game. So whenever you can take... Even just decapping them, it forces them to go back to being unmatured, but unfortunately there are only 3 of them there, and they're going to have to get out of there before they get wrecked there. So it's a good way to kind of weaken their economy a little bit. Looking back towards the middle here, it is 2 victory. Well, okay, now it's 1-1. About to be 2-1 here in favor of the blue team for the time being. Here they are all set up. We'll notice that most people have gone all the way to tier 3. Not too many new units have come out on the field here. It looks like Lindonen lost everything. I wasn't even watching up top there, but I'm pretty sure he lost those retreating Guardians. But Lindonen does have double Warp Spider Exarchs on the field. Not a bad idea. It gives you a nice little soft counter to the anti-vehicle, or sorry, to the vehicle stuff that's out there. Tactical Marines being upgraded to have a Sergeant right now as well. And for the time being, all is quiet on the Western Front, giving me plenty of opportunities here to remind you all to follow me on Twitter if you're curious about when my videos come out. I like to update that pretty much daily. Also, I follow pretty much all of the Relic news threads as well, so whenever something good comes out there, if it's particularly useful, I like to retweet it as well. Anyhow, here we have, again, the it looks like the Assault Marines coming from Dark Riku here, charging into the center, leading the attack, absorbing most of the damage, and then getting healed by the Apothecary. Great use of that ability there. Everybody is just kind of in a big, nasty melee right now. You can see lots of damage coming from all sides. We've got War Spiders coming into the battlefield as well, kind of shredding away at people here. I'm pretty sure we had Spirit Stones being used as well to heal there. And the Orcs are just kind of massacring here, just kind of forcing all of their units upon them. Got a couple of special attacks going off. Nice looking retreats there. It looked like the War Spiders intentionally teleported right in the middle of those retreating units and then forced melee. That's looking pretty good. The Warlock going to have to get out of there. And now I think these guys just need to kind of break apart and decide what they're going to do with their little advantage here. Yes, having already controlled all of this stuff, they're going to go and take care of this power generator farm right now. So bam, generator goes down, putting some pressure on the power node itself, taking out generators. Always good to capitalize on your victories.